to fix what has never been fixed on the African continent. That's why the digital economy was forcefully ushered in, if I choose to use that language. It means that you may not be able to walk into the African Union's office and talk to them about what you think they are doing wrong, about the different things they're coming up with. But you can write constructive articles that get their attention. You can write constructive articles and get people to tag them. You can write constructive tweets and tag them repeatedly every week and get influencers to do the same. The goal is not antagonism. The goal is, can we think about this critically, because the policies you are formulating affect us as the citizens, affect us as the young people, affect us as the people who have the potential to rebuild what you have broken several years ago. And listen, I want us to move from that mindset that the leaders don't really want to do anything, they just want to steal. I don't agree. In the past, I used to think that. But now, let me tell you my school of thought. They're as confused as you and me. I kid you not, they're as confused as you and me. Majority of the ruts they found themselves in have been laid down several centuries ago, several decades ago, by colonialism. So they have found themselves struggling after struggling to try and fix what they did not cause. So if you leave the same responsibility to these leaders, you are letting them be swallowed up by the same rot you have been swallowed up in. So here is my proposition. What part of the economy in your country or on the continent can you specifically say, I have identified a gap? Can I step in and fill this gap? This conversation is for thinkers who have the mindset of creating sustainable change. This conversation is for thinkers who believe that they exist to cause a change. The reason why every day we talk about Martin Luther King, Mandela, Maya Angelou, all the great people that you know today, that their names have been talked about. What are these other guys? The guys that built America, I've forgotten their name, those brothers. I can't remember their names. If you know it, please drop in the comment section. Thank you very much, Rockefeller. Thank you very much. The reason why we mentioned their names is because those guys stepped out and said, I have identified problems. Let us be the ones to propose solutions. They didn't wait for their government. They built that country. The country took the blueprint from them and ran with it till today. In Africa, let me tell you, what we need to do is take up that baton ourselves as the private sector, as individuals, and step in and begin to think creative solutions. Listen, let me tell you how to get the attention of people. Pick a worthy cause. Push that worthy cause with everything that you represent. Be dedicated to it, be focused on it. But while you are doing so, make sure that you are creating sustainable change. It's not enough to say, I have found an area of need. I want to make money from it. That's the thing killing us in Africa. We are very interested in the amount of money we would make from a new business venture, as opposed to how does this truly impact my economy? So in economy, there's personal economy, there's national economy, there's continental economy, right? I like to call it this way: community, country, and continent. The 3C approach. So whatever it is I do, how does it affect the community economy that I operate from? How does it affect my country's economy? How does it affect my continental economy? Community economy is even different from your own personal economy. Because anything that affects your community economy, there's no how you are not profiting from it. It's just almost impossible. It's almost impossible. That's the least level of scalability in everything that you do with your hands. If your community is not affected by it, you haven't started a business. That's what we must begin to think about as Africans today. It's not how much revenue comes into your bank account every month. It's how that community you're operating in and from is impacted by what you carry. what you do, the voice you have. And I know some of you may say, okay, but I sell hair. How is the community going to be impacted by the hair that I sell? Simple question. The answer is this. There are lots of women in that community who do not know what to do with themselves, are probably languishing from losing their jobs or living in abject poverty. And you have a knowledge that can help them start. As basic as that. So you see this thing I'm saying to you to do? You don't need $1 billion to do it, no. Very recently, we launched the Association of African Startups. Our goal is to gather startups from all the 54 countries in Africa and pour into them what is required for them to build sustainable businesses. We went as far as gathering speakers from all over Africa. Oh, we looked for the best of the best. We looked for the best speakers. We paid the bill to those speakers and say, you know what, let us pay you the bill. Come and pour into Africa. Now, these guys are giants in Africa. They have churned out results in billions of dollars for all their different ventures and different clients. We have said those things you have done for your clients, please come and pour it into our members in the Association of African Startups. Because from here, we want to raise people that will go to their different countries and begin to dominate. We want to raise people that will go to their different countries and begin to set up businesses that can empower people, empower communities, empower countries, nations. When we were starting out, we didn't need $1 billion. We needed an idea. We needed people who bought the vision. We needed people who could run with the vision. And here we are. We have launched. We have opened up to the world. We have opened up to Africa for young Africans like you and me listening today to come into the association and say, what can we do collectively to rebuild this African continent? Permits me to use a scripture, an example from the scripture. Nehemiah, when Nehemiah went to go and build the temple in Jerusalem, when he got there, all that was really required is for him to look for people who shared the same burden, the same vision as him. And when he found those people, they began to work together assiduously for 52 days and they rebuilt the temple. Now, I'm not saying that we at the Association of African Startups can rebuild Africa in 52 days or 52 weeks, but just like Nehemiah started, we have started. The big question is, are we going to have Africans who are willing to look beyond their physical gains, their monetary gains, their financial gains, and say, can I add value to my continent? Can I? I gave you an example of how you can start immediately with the little things you have in your hands. Look at your community. Look at the place where you live in. Look at the place where you come from. If you think your community is very upwardly mobile, they don't need your help. Look at the place where you come from. I'm talking about your hometown. And say, how can I groom this next generation of people? And I say this is, I know this is possible because in my individual capacity as a business consultant, I have, what's the word? I have worked with thousands of entrepreneurs across the world, and I know that even from sitting in my country in Nigeria, I can help different entrepreneurs in different parts of the countries or different parts of the world. Why don't we consolidate it and turn it into something that becomes a movement, and it gives us an avenue to raise entrepreneurs with a specific result in view. I share this with you because I want you to begin to burn with the kind of, passion or with the kind of desire to change what you see in your immediate community. I want you to begin to burn with that. Because to begin to burn with that, we don't necessarily get anywhere that we are in today. Having said that, I want us to break it down to our individual economies or our individual communities or our individual, wherever it is we're coming from now. So the action point to take from here is everything you have done in the last 2 months, 3 months. Let's leave it to 2 months, 3 months. In fact, let's leave it 6 months. The pandemic/lockdown has lasted for about 6 months in Africa. Of course, in different parts of the world, longer. But for us here, I think we started the lockdown in April and just beginning to ease up gradually. So we've had about 6 months. In the last 6 months of being locked down or almost not being able to move as effectively as you used to in the past, what level of impact have you been able to do for your community? What level of impact have you been able to do for the people who look up to you? What level of impact have you been able to create with your products and services? As simple as the products and services that you have right now, what level of impact have you been able to create? How do you measure this? Make a list of the people who you have served, virtually or physically. What's their life actually transformed by any means whatsoever? If you haven't thought about that, today is the day to sit down and create a metrics to measure the results that you bring to the table. Because there's a difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. They're two different things. And I know that in the school of thought where most of us grow up in is the same, but no, it's not. A business owner is somebody who just goes in there, does their transactions and goes home. An entrepreneur is somebody who is in there to find problems, real problems that they can solve, and by virtue of solving their problem, money follows them. That's who an entrepreneur is. Unfortunately, in Africa, majority of us are business owners who are interested in the transactions. How do I chase clients? How do I get clients? And after getting the clients, I give them their product, they give me my money and I'm gone. But in the real sense, is that what we need in Africa? It's not. Because if we investigate this particular thing, it's the same reason why our leaders operate with such level of impunity. Because everybody is about, what can I get? That's what everybody's about. What can I get? And they get into leadership, they enter with the same attitude. What can I get? Because even the smallest business owner in their state, in their country, that's who they are. So the same business owner who is criticizing the government of his country, if he gets the opportunity, the same attitude he has carried in his business of how can I make money is the same attitude he's going to take when he gets into leadership. You see where our fundamental problems are. Because even in our businesses, we don't have a heart for the community. We don't have a heart for the people. We have a heart for the transactions, the money. And that's what transcends into leadership. And so you question why we have bad leaders. You know why we have bad leaders? Because we have bad citizens. It's just how it is. And I'm not absolving myself from it. We're all in this together in Africa. A leader would only come out and be good if during running his business or running his career, as the case may be, he was people-centric. If he wasn't, it won't change when he gets leadership. When he gets leadership, he will carry an extension of who he is to leadership. This time around, he has more power, more access to your national pass, and he's going to take it. Do you see why we have a responsibility to dig deep into the startups, the young people in Africa? If we are going to do any kind of change whatsoever, we must dig in. We must dig in and begin to correct the mindset. We must begin to dig in and begin to correct our attitude to doing business. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is one of the richest men in the world because he wanted to make money? You think that's what drove it? No. It's not why. The reason is because he was genuinely looking to solve people's problems. How can he connect people who have lost contact? That's what drove him repeatedly until he began to do something with himself. Oh, let me bring the example down home. In Ghana, there's a young man called Amin Sule. Amin is the founder and CEO of Zakol. I found him last week on social media. And we looked for him, we got his number, we spoke to him at the Association of African Startups. We're interviewing him on Tuesday on our social media page. He is a Ghanaian. He is young. I doubt it. Amin is up to 35. He is young. He started a charcoal manufacturing business in Ghana from coconut. Amin says he would be going to school, he will pass a particular bus stop where they will sell coconut, and he will notice that they were flooding everywhere with coconut back. And then he started to observe that the woman who was selling one snack, they call in Ghana, I can't remember the snack in Ghana. He said he noticed that the woman will use coconut back to burn or to roast that particular snack. So in his head, he started to connect coconut and charcoal. Because if a woman is going to use coconut to burn charcoal, it means that he can actually turn coconut to charcoal. So he said he became obsessed with understanding how this thing can actually work. This young man, from that obsession, that passion, he said to them, stop throwing your coconut peels or bark in the ocean and in the sea. Don't block our seas. Be bringing it to my house. He said before he started his business, he had mountains of coconut bark in his house, like heaps and heaps and heaps. They kept coming to pour. At this time, this young man did not even have capital. I'm talking about a fellow African. Let me bring it home so that we can understand. At this time, he didn't have capital. He started by using a tin tomato can. Tin tomato can. And I'm sure some Ghanaians are here. You don't even know the story of Amin Suli. He's a Ghanaian in Ghana. He started burning coconut bark. That coconut bark, he started burning it with tin tomato can. He would incinerate, he would lacerate, what call it, yes, lacerate or puncture. He would puncture the tin and put the bark on it and burn it at a certain temperature so that he could produce charcoal. He kept testing and testing and testing until he hit it. When he hit it, he started producing stainless charcoal. I don't even think that technology exists anywhere else in the world. I don't know if it exists. I mean, in Ghana, an African started producing stainless charcoal from coconut peel. Now he packs it in beautiful packaging and exports. He's African like you and me. Do you think Amin was thinking about how much I can make and collect from these people when he was thinking of that solution? No. He was thinking, how can I remove this waste from our ocean? How can I turn this waste into something that is useful? He was thinking like an entrepreneur. By virtue of creating solution to that problem, what has now happened is that Amin is now making money. It's inevitable. So what would happen is once money is your major motivation, you keep struggling. And this is it's not a curse, it's just what it is. Because I have been there. I'm not sharing with you what I've never done. I'm sharing with you what I have been there. I have lived the last 4 years of my life has been me driven by transactions. Oh, I have a goal. I want to make $1 million. You know, I have been driven by that for the last 4 years of my life, and I have worked my ass out. Have I reached my goals? No. Oh, no, I haven't. Do you know why? Because the perspective is wrong. The perspective is wrong. You cannot create any true sustainable change by being driven by money. You can't. Because what would happen is when the money is not coming, you give up. And when you give up, my dear brothers and sisters, that is when your business is supposed to start making sense. So on the days when your business is not working, what will keep you glued to that business is the passion for sustainable change. I am by this Zoom meeting calling out to young Africans like you and me to say, go back to your drawing board and begin to reevaluate why you truly do what you do. Do you want to stay relevant in the next 5 years? Do you want your name to still be mentioned in the next 5 years? Do you want the business that you carry in your hands to still be relevant and churning out money for you in the next 5 years? Go back to the drawing board. Oh, go back to the drawing board. Go and reevaluate why you are in it. And guess what? Your mindset can be changed. Even if you started by chasing money, you can actually begin to say, how do I identify what humanity, what sustainable change is in this business, and begin to marry the value proposition of my business to sustainable change? There are SDG goals, 17 there. And I know so many of us, you know, theoretically, quickly look for which SDG my business fits into and quickly plugs it in. I know a lot of us have done that theoretically, but in actual practical sense, are you incorporating that into your solutions? Let me break this down. At the Association of African Startup, our SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal 8, economic growth and change. Sustainable Development Goal 2, I think no poverty. No, I think that's 1, no poverty. So our SDG is centered around 8 and 2. I think 8 and 1, 8 and 2. So economic growth and no poverty. Because we are focused on economic growth, we decided that we are going to focus on helping people's businesses grow. And that's why we gathered facilitators from across Africa. The best of the best, the best of the best. We gathered them to say every month, 3 of you, teach my people, mentor them, show them what to do, show them how you have done your own. Let us have the older people pouring into the younger people, how they have grown businesses. We focus on that model. While we are doing that, we're reflecting on the poverty rate in the different countries, in the different communities, in the different areas of the continent. So go back to your drawing board and begin to ask pertinent questions. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Money is good. Money will come. But when money doesn't come when you expect it to come, what will keep you going? Why do you think African businesses die within 0 to 5 years? Why? Because we're in it for the wrong reasons. In Africa, we want to blow. We want to hammer. We want to hit. How many European, American businesses do you see that enter and say, I just want to make money, I just want to make money, I just want to make money? They enter there and create solutions. And so most of them stay there 10 years, 15 years until it begins to make sense. We must move that mindset into Africa if we are going to do anything that is reasonable. And it starts with you and me, you listening to me right now. Go back to the drawing board. Look at your business. How can I turn this thing into a tool for sustainable change? Even if it's just me in my small corner in Ghana, in Nairobi, in Lesotho, in South Africa, even if it's just me helping 1,000 people on a monthly basis, on an annual basis, I am adding my quota. And you can state it categorically. In fact, guys, when you begin to see the fruit of the work that you put inside what you do, you will find that you keep getting more fuel to keep going on. As a matter of fact, one of the things the scripture says is when you give, it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, shall men give unto you. And giving is not only when you sow a seed in church. No, it's not. Giving also comes from giving of your own virtue. I'm talking about your own value to your country, to your community, to the continent. When you give of what you know selflessly to people, the universe has a way of bringing it back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together. It's what it is. I have walked in this dimension in ways I can't even explain. Because my life's work is dedicated to helping others. My life's work is dedicated to helping others grow. My life's work is dedicated to helping other businesses do well. And by virtue of doing well, you come on, you see, oh, this business is doing well. You remember, oh, you're a part of their journey. So what that begins to happen is everything that, your brand will not die because you have been a part of so many success stories. At the end of this class, I will advise the majority of you, before you jump out to do other things, sit down and listen to this again and again and ask yourself tough questions. Listen, guys, allow me to go a bit spiritual and prophetic here. Africa is on the agenda. Africa is on the agenda. Today, I was listening to this Kenyan lawyer activist, Professor something Locke Otieno Lumumba. How many of you know Professor Lumumba? Who knows Professor Lumumba? Can I see your hands in the comment section? Who knows Professor Lumumba in Kenya? He's an activist, an African, a Pan-African activist. I was listening to him today. Fantastic. Ignacio said, I was listening to him today, and he shared a very important statistic that I immediately linked to a story in the Bible. The Israelites were held captive in Egypt for 400 years. Professor Lumumba said in that his speech, Africa was held captive for 400 years till independence. Do you see the correlation? After that liberation from Egypt, what began to happen to Israel is what's supposed to begin to happen to Africa. Meaning, we're at a space in time where Africa is on the agenda of God for repositioning. When the scripture says, arise, shine, for your light is come, and the glory of God has risen upon you, it's saying, Africa, arise, shine. And arising, it means that you and me are going to have to arise. We're going to have to stand up and pick mantles and say, we have been given these mantles, these mandates. Can we arise? Because you can't shine if you don't arise. You cannot shine if you're lying in your bed. You cannot shine if you're chasing your own thing. You cannot shine if all you're looking for is transactions. You can only shine if you're arising for a cause. Yes, please, go ahead. You can only shine if you are rising for a cause. If you are rising because there's something that others are going to, yes, others are going to get from you or by you standing up. We are that era where so many foreign investors are beginning to say, I want to bring my wealth into Africa. Why do you think Jack Ma is interested in bringing so much into Africa? They see what you and I don't see. Guys, they see it very vividly. They're trying to invest in a continent that they know is the future. Africa is the future. The big question I'm going to leave you with today, are you going to be a part of this future or you want to remain in the past in Africa? Can I see your hands in the comment section? Do you want to remain in the past of Africa or you want to be a partaker in the future that Africa has? Let me see your hands in the comment section. Who are those that are fired up to join in this rising up of young people, rising up of movers and shakers, rising up of entrepreneurs, not business owners? They are two different things. I said it earlier. Who are those ready to rise up and take up different spaces in the industry to say it is time? I have picked my own button. I have picked my own mandate. I have picked my own mantle. And my mantle is to go into Africa and raise the next generation of African entrepreneurs that will rebuild the economy. Like Nehemiah, my job is to gather the builders. Are you going to be among the builders or you want to be among the spectators? I'm going to leave you with that question today as I come to a close, so that once we're done with this session, you can go and sit down and try to actually, identify what part of the divide you fall into. And in rounding up, I'm going to say that fantastic, fantastic. I see your comments, fantastic. I see your comments. I see your comments. Thank you so much. And in rounding up, I'm going to say that I'm going to introduce what the Africa is to us. Like I said earlier, it's an organization that gathers startups from the 54 countries in Africa. Our goal is to pour into you what you need to grow sustainable businesses. The future of the world is digital. And we know that as business owners, you must position yourself digitally to tap into that market. As a matter of fact, the internet market is estimated at $12 billion. That means you and I have so much to tap from that industry, so much from that economy. And so with the Association of African Startups, every month you get detailed, tailored teaching curriculums by the experts in Africa by way of consultants, coaches, and trainers to come and teach you. They give you tasks, they give you evaluation forms so that you are actively learning what they know and is making them grow, and you too, you're applying it in your different countries in Africa. We're also going to be bringing mentors that will mentor you at least once a month, answer your questions, show you the paths. All of this is going to be happening in the Association of African Startups. And this is just one thing out of the plenty things we have in stock. I'm not going to share all the different things, but if you want, you can go to our website and go and read up all the different things. We noticed that one of the problems we have in Africa is startups are not really, there's no springboard for them to jump on. Nobody's really, thank you so much. Nobody's really encouraging them when they start. So we have created different platforms to help you do that. Once every quarter, we would feature startups that are doing well in their different spheres and celebrate them on our magazines, on our TV shows, and so many plenty things we have in stock for that session. Like I said, go read about it. It's www.taskafrica.org. Rachel, please feel free to drop this for them in the chat or in your group so that they can read about it, and you can feel free to join us. I'm just going to mention a couple of the speakers, a couple of the faculty members that are going to be helping you throughout your membership here. First of them is Vusi Tembekwayo. Second of all, Kwame from Ghana. There's also Daniel Sapong from Ghana. We have Steve Harris from Nigeria. We have John Obidi from Nigeria. We have Debola Dejukurumi. There's a lot of them. Just go to our website. You see so many of them who we have handpicked to pour into you what you need to succeed in life and in business. Having said that, thank you so much, Rachel, and the management of GLYCD for bringing me here today. I look forward to young people who are interested in joining us on the journey to rebuild this continent. And just in closing, whether you join us or not, the work is going to be done. Whether you join us or not, this work is going to be done. Whether people join, whether everybody in the city or join the Himalaya or not, the temple was built in 52 days. So do you want to be among those who were criticizing them? You know, the people who were criticizing Nehemiah. I believe that you have what it takes inside of you to turn that small business in your hand into a tool for economic impact, no matter how small. I believe you have it in that small business. But let's show you how, right? So thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you so much, every single person today for joining. I'd like to know what different countries are they joining from? I mean, just out of curiosity. So tell me where you're joining from. If you're going to be asking a question, tell me where you're joining from, and then we'll take it from there.
Please, if you have any questions, the speaker is ready for your questions.
I think some people were complaining of network issues and all that. I got some few.
I'm sure there's a recording. You can share with them the recording for those who were not able to catch it live.
Yes, we do.
Fantastic, great.
Yes, so can I ask some questions?
Please go ahead.
Great. So in the process of young individuals coming together, sometimes consider the challenge. You know, when people start their own ventures, there's no community support for them to gain that traction they need or that scalability they need. So with TAS Africa, the African Startup Organization, do they have to make any form of payment to sign up or to join? And yeah.
Fantastic. Yes. At least you get to pay $15 for a year. 1 year. So $15 in 1 year is like $1.3 every month. Do the math in your country currency. $1.3 every month to have access to 3 speakers, 1 mentor. An opportunity to showcase your product and services to everybody in the community every week. meaning we're going to be doing community spotlighting once a week. That means you're in Ghana. There are members who are in Nairobi, Liberia, and you have been thinking of starting your business in Liberia. Somebody may just see your products and the person will say, we need this in Liberia, how can I get it? And then you can start a new business. What we are trying to promote is intercontinent, how do I put it? International, how do I put it? Intra-African trade, within Africa. Intra-African trade. Aside all the learnings, you are learning, but there's still community. You're learning, there's still spotlighting. While we are doing all of these things, we're identifying people who are acting, who are doing stuff with I gave you an example of Amin Sule, right? Like I said, it started with Tin Tomato. At that point, nobody supported him. Nobody supported him. Now look at where he has got into. But of course, the story is not the same when you started. One of the things we must understand in Africa is for you to get any level of funding and support, you have to start first. Start. Because anybody who is putting money in your business has to see that your business is viable. You, by yourself, the business owner, have to test your proof of concept. Because if you haven't tested your proof of concept, you don't even have the necessary confidence to stand in front of an investor and defend everything that you believe in. Because they'll throw you all kinds of questions. So yes, the person who asked that question, there is a $15 annual fee. And that is all you pay. You don't pay anything else after that $15. Except there are other products that you want to buy during the course of the year inside the association. But that $15 gives you access as a member, gives you access to all the trainings that we would have, and gives you an opportunity to be selected amongst those who are going to be showcased should your work be remarkable enough. So yes, $15 for a year. That's the annual subscription fee. For speakers like Vusi Tembekwayo, for speakers like for speakers like John Obidi, a lot of them, Edire, there are plenty, so many. Just go to our website, you see all the list of speakers that would help you during your membership year. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Somebody said, how can Africans truly contribute to the development of science and technology? So now, let me get his name so I can get that person's question. His name is, that's Rachel, right? Okay, yes, that's Rachel. How can Africans really contribute to the development of science and technology? One of the first things we must understand is science and technology is actually very, very broad. Science and tech is broad. Are you talking about the research aspect of science and tech? Are you talking about the AI? Are you talking about robotics? Are you talking about drone technology? There's all kinds of area of science and technology. It's so broad. So if you say how can Africans truly develop the science and technology aspect, science and technology industry, what you need to start doing is identify a part of that entire value chain you want to play in and hold it. That's how to start. Identify a part of the value chain and hold it. Even people who have a lot more money, look at what Akon is planning to do in Senegal. Look at what he's trying to build in Senegal. Akon did not enter into the Senegalese market coming to do that. He started first by doing solar street lights. He started by doing solar small to enhance people's homes. He started by doing small miniature projects in Senegal. He had done that for so long, for about 3 years. Now he's planning to build that modern city in Dakar. So for every big project that you think Africa needs to develop, pick one small tiny subset. As you begin to grow, you start to see how it plugs into different areas. Case in point, the Association of African Startups. We started by saying, let us help people grow their businesses. But what you don't understand is inside it, we are going to begin to influence policy formulations. Because once we draw our first year, our second year, we'll begin to call stakeholders to say, look at what we have done in your country. But based on what we have done in your country by measurable metrics and statistics, we need you to improve these policies to help our entrepreneurs. So you see, you started off by saying, let me start with their business. But where you are going, you are entering policies, leaderships, economy, you're going all of those places. But you started small. So Rachel, in science and technology is vague. Even Mark Zuckerberg cannot enter into Africa and say, I want to do science and technology. He's going to enter and say, I want to build an accelerator hub and turn that accelerator hub into coding. You see how it is done? You start with one small problem, scale it. So you, Rachel, identify one area you want to play in this industry and start small. You can say, I want to train all the young people in the different primary schools, AI and robotics. Get a trainer from abroad and to teach them once a week and practical. I'm just giving an example. And then once you are training them, you are beginning to look for internship opportunities for them in China, in different countries in the world, for them to go and intern for 5 years and come back to your country and pour what they have learned in your country. This is how we must begin to think, guys. We must begin to think the way the people who are outside think. The Chinese person give birth to a small Chinese baby and they will train them from as young as when they are 3, 4 into all the things that you see them do now. Once they are old, they send them to different areas of the world to go and take over. What are we doing in Africa? What are we really doing? What are we doing? So Rachel, look for one small thing, hone in, pour things into it. As you that small thing, it becomes bigger gradually. And as you begin to grow, things with great work is it attracts. Any work that is good becomes a magnet. It begins to attract stakeholders. It begins to attract. So once you are doing great work, stakeholders will look for you. So look for that great work and begin to do it. If it's your business, look for the great work inside your business and begin to do it. And what will happen?
I wanted to limit it to information technology. I basically, from the question, I think I didn't make it, I made it too broad. So in terms of how Africans can truly contribute to information technology, that's the internet, social media, and all that. That's where I just wanted to.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Oh, that's one of the things we're doing with the Association of African Startups, actually. That's one of our major goals, We want our members to be able to tap into the $12 billion digital economy, the information internet economy. That's what we want to do. Our curriculum is tailored around how to use social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You know, our curriculum is targeted towards how to create products that we sell, how to sell them, how to market them, how to network, how to structure those things that are the average problems causing people from not knowing how to use information technology, like you rightly mentioned. That's what we're going to tackle in the first 1 year as a member of the Association of African Startups. Interesting stuff. Thank you for asking that question. And yes, that's one of the things we are going to tackle, so that in the first year, all our members can boast of understanding how to use this platform if you are truly ready to learn. If you're not ready to learn, you may not get it. But if you're ready to learn, we have even developed a learning curriculum, a learning methodology, meaning the teacher will not just come and teach you motivation. We have taught them, teach them this. We broke it down. I'm a consultant myself. I coach business owners. So because I have worked with so many business owners in thousands, I know exactly how people learn. So we created it that way so that you can actually carry an action point and go to your business and run with it. So yeah, in the first 1 year, that's all you are really going to be learning, how to leverage ICT to grow your business. Thank you too. Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I have a question here. How do we as Africans, some Africans or some individuals, people don't have a deeper understanding of what entrepreneurship entails? And so how is the TAS Africa, or Association of African Startups, positioning itself to make African entrepreneurs understand entrepreneurship very well and scale up their businesses or whatever they are into to match up global standards or to match up international standards?
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for that question. Again, I'm going to refer to our learning curriculum for the first year in the section of African startups. One of the core reasons why I believe that African entrepreneurs don't churn out the kind of results that foreign or European entrepreneurs necessarily churn out is because our mindset is wrong. That's the truth. Our mindset is wrong. Now, that's not to absolve any other area of the world of warped mindsets. That's not to absolve, but I want to focus on Africa. We'll notice that if your mind is right, you focus on the you're focusing on about your business rather than looking at what the next person is doing. So, in the section of African startups, the first thing we're doing is re-engineering the mindset of our members. You said, how do we match them to international standards? We need to change our mindset. Once we change our mindset, I can sit down with a European and we are thinking on the same level, if not better. If not better, actually. If not better, actually. Because I believe that our living conditions and our environments is a lot more, is harsher than theirs. So we have some level of deeper thinking and deeper understanding of situations than they do. That's how I see it. So if we don't correct the mindset, you'll find that we may never be able to grow businesses the way international people do business. So that's the first thing we're doing in the Association of African Startup. For the entire first month, week 1, week 2, week 3, we're teaching we're re-engineering your mindset. We're bringing 3 different specialists. 3 different specialists. Month 2, we'll now move from that mindset to product formation. How do you create products? These are the core of entrepreneurship. Because we have entrepreneurs who wake up and say, I saw somebody selling bag. Let me go there and buy the bag and resell. Like I said, that's been doing business. They're 2 different things. A business owner and an entrepreneur. So the next thing we're doing after mindset is, how do you formulate products? Because it's the formulation of product that determines whether the customers will buy. There's certain kind of questions you must ask yourself before you create products. Every time iPhone wants to create a new product, there are different things they do to create a new spec that will get people to buy. It's called product formulation. They have a specific department called research and development, R&D. That's what they do. They keep checking customer analysis. What are customers asking for? What are customers not using? What are they complaining of? They build all this data together and formulate products with a view to solving problems. So you see, my dear, that asked that question, product formulation is month 2. How do you formulate products? Then we'll talk about branding in that month 2. How do you brand? How do you carry and package yourself in a way that the market will accept you? Because in the market where you're entering into, there are people who have been there before you. Why should they pay attention to you? Right? After that, we'll now move into contents. How do you explain what it is that you do? These are the core, they're the basics of entrepreneurship. If you don't know these things, you can't do great entrepreneurship. You can't be a great entrepreneur, especially in the African environment, who is going to compete on an international standard. So just in answer to your question, our curriculum is tailored to making you a fully baked entrepreneur that can compete at a global and at a local level. Do we have further questions?
I like your answer. I like your answer, and I must say that that's a deep insight into what I asked, because I noticed that that has been a problem over the years among a lot of African startups, and so it makes
I think Ignatius is having network.
it makes the entrepreneurship a lot of opportunities, but stop. So thank you so much.
Any more questions? If not, we will round up soon. Yeah. Yes, so thank you. Yes, I was just about to say if there are no questions, we'll round up soon. Yes, so thank you so much, Ma. This was so detailed, and it was such a great insight that you've shared to us today. Yes, and we thank God that it's being recorded so that those who missed will at least grab some knowledge from it. So we appreciate you for coming on board, for wanting to be part of this. It means a lot to us. And please, anybody hearing me now, please do well to check the TAS website. And if you're someone with a business, this is a very great platform you can't afford to miss. Please do join. And also I've shared how you can reach out to our speaker as well. So you can follow her on all her social media platforms and she'll be ready to assist you. Yes, so thank you so much, Ma'am, once again. We appreciate
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
Physically in one of our conferences, God willing.
Say that again?
I'm saying that we hope to have you physically in one of our conferences, God willing.
Amen. 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 Thank you so much, Rachel. Thank you so much, everyone. I believe I can go now.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, everyone. So if you are not on the group, let me share our WhatsApp platform right away so that you join. So I've shared it in the chat. So you can join if you are not on the platform. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, okay, someone said I have a question, but finding it difficult to connect. Oh, so sorry. Okay, you can, let me drop my contact so that you send the question to me, and or you can also reach the speaker on the social media platforms that I shared. She will answer your questions from there, but you can also send it to me and I can forward it on your behalf. Or you can just simply reach out to her on the links that I shared and she will be glad to assist you.
Yes, I think you should drop the links again.
I should drop it again.
So that, yes.
Isn't it? It's not in the chat section. I dropped everything.
No. You know, some people just join so that they can, yeah. Because I see someone just joined Oppo F1 Rahima Moine Numba.
Let me find it.
If not, I can just drop it. Just drop the Instagram also.
Okay, I've dropped the Instagram and the TAS website.
Great.
And the TAS email.
Great.
Okay, and the WhatsApp. Okay, sure. Okay, so thank you, everyone. And please, next week, try to invite someone. We've been having amazing sessions that you need to tell your brother or sister to also benefit as well. Let's try to tell people to join. Okay, so if you're in the groups already, we do share the Zoom links and all that, the registration links and all that. When you see it, please share to a brother or sister. Let them also benefit as well. Okay. Yes, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ignatius. And see you again next week, same time. 4 p.m., sorry, next week, 4 p.m. I think I have to confirm. It will be communicated in the group. I think next week is either on a Saturday. I don't know. I have to confirm. So everything will be communicated in the groups. Thank you
Great.
all so much and have a blessed evening. Thank you, Rahima. Thank you, Sec Professor Prof. Sika. Thank you, OPPF1.
Great. You too. All right.
Bye, everyone. Hey, today we didn't launch the poll. The poll now. Oh, okay, from India. Oh, wow. Yeah. I think you're the one who texted me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I think you've learned something to go and better India's economy. Thank you so much. Please do share. We want some Indians to join sometime. Even though this is an African thing, you can just let them come and tap some knowledge. There's no problem with that. Okay, bye everyone.